Well, 10 people. You can start now.
Want to start?
Yeah, you can start now, and then you can go to, yeah, yeah. You can start now and allow the guests in Zoom to start talking about their product.
Okay.
So you just give them.
Give me 1 second. I gotta shrink this because I'm using the one screen. Yeah. Okay, we'll go ahead and start. We've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people. We can go for it. You want to?
You start with no, I don't know.
So this isn't going to disturb them next word. Okay, so I'm going to turn it up just a little bit so it hits this little part. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Gil Davenport. Our new chair, Jairo Castro, called just a little while ago. He was called off to another meeting. Unfortunately, a number of people in his company came down with COVID, and so he was called into something he couldn't get out of. So he asked me to step in for the evening. So I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at what time is it? 7:06. We're going to call this meeting to order. Since we meet by Zoom, since we can't meet personally all together, we use something called what do we call it? Something called consent. Unanimous consent. We use unanimous consent. If there is something to be voted upon, I will put the motion forward. I will ask if there is unanimous consent, if there are any objections. If there are none, the motion carries. If there are objections, I will call for discussion and then call for a vote, at which time everybody will use their Zoom or their real hand to go ahead and raise a hand to indicate aye or nay. So let's start by first approving the minutes. The minutes were made available. Minutes were made available as a couple of weeks ago. So again, does anybody have any objections to the minute or to the agenda? It is accepted. The next is the minutes for the meeting from March 30. Do I hear any problems or changes to the minutes from March 30? Hearing none, it is accepted. And the third piece is Cantina Latino, which the County Democratic Committee during their Cinco de Mayo dinner, which they call Blue Fairfax. And we'll show you a little bit later a picture of the basket, but it's and everybody is welcome to donate if you go to Latino Caucus. If you look at the bulletin, the last bulletin, there's a button on there to go and donate. And yes, we'd love to get a donation. The basket is priced at a little over $300. The last time we gave a similar basket a year ago, it bid out at $500. It's one of the highest bidding items in the silent auction, so we're pretty proud of that. And it's filled with all kinds of liqueurs from throughout Central and South America. It has a lot of snacks like plantains and some hot sardines, things that you might find in a typical cantina. Okay, without further ado, let me stop sharing this. Okay, have everybody introduce themselves?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, why don't we go ahead and have everybody introduce themselves? I'll start calling it out across the top. Again, I'm Joe Valentin, acting as first temporary. Why don't you unmute and just introduce yourself, and then later we're going to call on you to talk about your campaign.
Me? Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. So,
Where are you from? Why are you here tonight?
okay, perfect. Kyle McDaniel, running for school board at large. I'll be brief. I think that as Democrats, we probably agree on policy issues, so I won't talk about policy, but politically speaking, I think that we need a school board that's team players, and we're collegial and we're collaborative, and we protect public education. And I've got two little girls going full steam ahead into our schools, so that's why I'm running. And hopefully, as this process continues to play out, I'll get to meet everybody. And yeah, that's the quick version.
It is a quick version. I've never heard of politicians, especially a Democrat, say hello in less than 10 minutes. That kind of surprises me. Les Sotomayor, just introduce yourself.
Hi, good evening. This is Les Sotomayor. By the way, Gil, I think your microphone is overdriving whatever it's connected to, and so you kind of distort and come out a little garbled.
Garbled, okay.
So if there's some way to reduce the gain. Anyway, my name is Les Sonnenmark. I am not Latino. However, I grew up in New York City. I had many Latino friends and classmates. I lived in Puerto Rico for a couple of years, working there and really enjoying life and enjoying meeting people there, and lived in Miami as well. And so I feel an affinity for the Latino community, and I'm hoping that we can all work together to boost voter turnout and have some more elected officials who are Latinos.
Okay, terrific. Hala, why don't you just introduce yourself briefly? We're going to have you tell us about your campaign in a few minutes.
Sure, thank you. I'm Hala Ayala. I am an Afro-Latina. I was on the Lieutenant Governor's Democratic ballot in 2021 as the first Afro-Latina to ever be on that ballot. I'm very excited about my race for state senate. My day job is national security. I've done that for 22 years, working in areas of cyber, privacy, focus ops, intel, and more. So I look forward to talking with you all about my campaign and just more about myself. And thank you for having me tonight.
Terrific. And some of you all know we talk about it often, but Denise and I knocked on literally 3,000 doors for Hala to flip her district when she ran down in Woodbridge. And what a campaign that was. We're hoping we can go to that this time. The reason I mentioned before that we have done thousands of doors for her, she flipped the district down in Woodbridge, and what I think was you.
Was that me?
Okay, we got a problem with that.
Hey guys, I think he was calling on me, so I'll go. I'm Chris Falk, and I'm running for Fairfax Clerk of the Court. I'm your Democratic nominee. Thanks for having me tonight. This is in the middle of the little Falcon's bath and bedtime routine, so I'll be in and out tonight. But I'm born and raised here in Fairfax County, and I've been an attorney for the past 15 years. My day job is as deputy clerk, civil division supervisor, and legal counsel at the Arlington Circuit Court. Thanks for having me. Talk to you all soon.
Hey, Chris. Okay, now we have. Would you unmute yourself and just introduce yourself? Here's Tim. Okay. Tim might not be there. Okay. Lawrence? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, Tim, hey, why don't you,
Hi. I wasn't, it was hard to hear you, Gil. As he indicated earlier, you come out very goggle. And so I apologize for the delay. Someone sent me an unmute message, so that was appreciative. I'm Tim Simmons. I'm with the Springfield District and a member of the Latino Caucus. Happy to be here.
we're having a little problem with the with the sound system here. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna try to make this a little louder for everybody. Okay, can people hear me now? Not very well. Okay. I'm gonna try something else. Give me 1 second. Can you help me, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Please, quickly. Thanks. Okay. Put that in. Right. Okay, can people hear better now?
That's much better, Gil.
Much better. Okay, so we're using a different microphone. Okay, or a different computer. Very good. Who? Hey, technology. Can't live with it. Can't live without it. Natalie, why don't you unmute and introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. Latino Caucus, thank you for having me. Natalie Shorter. I'm running for House of Delegates District 19, which is a portion of Prince William and Fairfax counties. And I am very happy to be here this evening to introduce myself and to go over a little bit of my campaign with you all here in a bit. Thank you so much.
Oh, terrific. I'm trying to get a list of everybody now. Who have I missed? Participants. Lawrence Webb, why don't you introduce yourself? And McKay.
Good evening, all.
There you are.
Yep, my name is Lawrence Webb. I'm a candidate for school board at large, running to represent the county, represent all of the different communities that makes Fairfax County the great county that it is, and look forward to having an opportunity to speak a little bit more about my campaign with you.
Perfect. Okay. And then we've got Makia Little. Makia, are you on there?
I am Makia Little, running to represent the newly drawn 19th District, also a founding member of the Latino Caucus, and happy to be here.
Terrific. Thank you, Makia. And Tim Simmons. Oh, we did Tim, right? Yes.
Yes, you did,
So
Miguel.
if I didn't, okay. Okay, now we're going to do the in-person, folks.
Hi, everybody. This is Albert Vega. Again, welcome to Building Momentum. Glad to have the Latino Caucus here again. And I'm also running for Springfield Supervisor. Well,
I'm still Bob Fasick. Mount Vernon District. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Felicia Agostini, and I'm Hala Ayala's campaign manager.
Good evening, everybody. This is Maritza. I'm the past chair of the Latino Caucus, and today I'm here as a candidate for the Mount Vernon supervisor. Thank you.
Okay, let's get to the. Oh, Harold, where's Harold? Harold, why don't you unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Hello, good evening. I apologize. I'm still driving home from work, but good evening to the Latino Caucus. My name is Harold E. Sims Jr. I'm a proud member of the Fairfax County Democratic Committee, serving as a member of the Black Caucus. and former officer and also co-chair of community outreach for the Mount Vernon Democratic Committee. I'm running to be the next representative on the school board to represent the Mount Vernon district. Thank you for allowing me to be here on tonight.
Terrific. Okay, if I haven't called on you, then I apologize, but raise your hand or just unmute and talk to us. We're having a few technical difficulties. We're in a different room this time using different kinds of equipment. And so we had to reposition things so that everybody could hear. Nod your head if I'm coming through clearly to everybody on Zoom. Wonderful. Okay, why don't we go ahead and start going through the candidates then, since Kyle, you tuned in very early, you're floated way to the top. How about if we let you unmute and go ahead and tell us about your campaign, where you stand on it, give us your campaign speech, your stump speech, and then tell us how we can help you.
Sure. You can help by voting for me. That's probably the number one thing you can do. Number two thing is donate or volunteer. But I'm Kyle McDaniel. I'm running for school board at large. I said a little bit earlier on, but I generally think that as Democrats, we probably agree on policy issues. So I'm not going to I don't like to get too heavy into policy stuff. But in my view, the biggest issue that this next school board has to face is the fact that our educational system, public education, is under attack from Republicans and from right-wing agitators. It's going to be the most salient issue of the next 4 years. We're going to have a presidential election coming up in 2024. We're going to have a gubernatorial election coming up in 2025. And Virginia's a battleground state. Fairfax County is going to be target number one for those who seek to just tear down public education. I mean, these folks, they're not good faith actors. This isn't a simple policy disagreement. This isn't a simple disagreement over, well, we think we should run schools this way, not that way. They're not good faith actors. They simply want to burn down public education and replace it with a voucher charter school scheme that takes public dollars and puts it into private coffers. And I think that we're fooling ourselves if we don't see that that's going to be the biggest issue of the next 4 years. So that's why I'm running. I mean, I have 2 little girls headed into schools. They're growing up faster than I want them to. I've got a window of opportunity to make sure that we build what I've called the Fairfax firewall, and we protect public education. And that takes a school board that's collegial, that's collaborative, that works as a team. That doesn't mean that we agree on everything. That just means that we agree on the fundamental fact that public education is the heart and soul of our communities here in Northern Virginia and in Fairfax County. And I think if we can stay focused on that simple fact, if we can unite around that, we can protect our kids, we can protect our parents, and we can protect our teachers. That's what I'm running for, and that's what I hope to accomplish on the school board. So the best thing you can do is vote for me. You've got 3 choices. I'd love to be one of your top 3 choices. I presume that most people on the call are signed up. But beyond that, we're always looking for volunteers to do phone banking and reach out to your friends and family to get them signed up to vote as well. So again, Kyle McDaniel, Democratic endorsee candidate for school board at large. Thank you. Good to be here.
Kyle, terrific. Thanks so much for taking time to join us. And we're rearranging things a little bit to allow people like you to join and then be able to head off, because I suspect you have another 5 meetings just tonight, right?
Just 2, but yes, thank you.
There you go. Okay, Hala Ayala, since you floated way to the top, you were nice and early. How about if you unmute and join us and tell us about your campaign, where you stand, and how we can help.
Well, thank you, FCDC, Latino Caucus. My name is Hala Ayala. I'm proud to be with you today. As you recall, I was the Lieutenant Governor nominee and the first woman of color to ever be on the ballot on the Democratic statewide ticket in 400 years of this Commonwealth. I was ready to take on the fight to Governor Youngkin, especially when it comes to gun violence prevention, funding our schools, fully funding our schools, and making sure that every child can thrive, but also protecting our reproductive health care. I was proud to be this co-sponsor along with my Senate co-patron, Jennifer McClellan, now Congresswoman McClellan, on the infant fetal mortality study that we were going to do, that we did, to make sure we could find out reasons why women, Black and brown women, were dying at such high or more larger rates than our white counterparts here in Virginia. as we're working towards making sure that we secure reproductive health care. We're also talking about access, protecting choice. This is something that we must do. Keeping the state Senate blue is a must. We can't turn back the clocks. You may all know that Virginia is the first state to codify Roe. We need a constitutional amendment. We need other measures to continue to make access or choice or abortion access available to all who choose to access it. In addition, I am proud to be to receive the endorsements of two governors, the only candidate who has, Governor Northam and Governor McAuliffe. I have received the endorsement of former President of Emily's List, Stephanie Shryock. We continue to build momentum on our campaign, knocking doors every weekend. I hope you'll join us as we're talking to voters. We're talking about the impact of this year's elections. We're definitely getting out the vote and educating because, as you may know, to all of our candidates knocking doors, we may find out that not many people understand what has happened after redistricting. So knocking doors is instrumental and pivotal as we look towards our June primary and the November general. With that, I want to thank you for having me. I will drop my link. I hope you come help us knock doors. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Listen, I'm going to call on Chris Falcon if he's not giving the kids a bath so that he'd have the most amount of time with the kids. So Chris, if you're there.
Thank you, Gil. I appreciate that. Can you guys hear me okay?
We hear you great.
All right, awesome. It's good to be back with you, Latino Caucus. I'm Chris Falcon. I'm your Fairfax County and Fairfax City candidate for clerk of court. So I'm running for this office because for the last 15 years as an attorney here in Virginia, I have seen repeatedly our community hit a wall every time they try to access the justice system in Fairfax County. That happens for so many reasons, and I'm going to go through a couple of those. One of the reasons it happens is because of language access issues. So when people try to access the court system in Fairfax for whom English is not their first language, they have a hard time interacting with that office. Another reason it occurs is because a lot of our neighbors cannot afford high-powered lawyers to represent them in cases. And unfortunately, the current Fairfax Clerk of the Court's office doesn't believe in connecting those residents, our neighbors, with legal aid resources that exist and are out there. One of the other things you guys have heard me talk about over and over again is that the current Republican-run Clerk of the Court's office does not have free online case information access. And that is point number one on our platform. Day one, when I get elected, I'm going to call the Virginia Supreme Court and we're going to get the largest county in the Commonwealth of Virginia on the existing free online case information system that's already out there, used by every county in Virginia except for Fairfax. There's no reason that we shouldn't be on the same free program that everyone else has available. And don't tell me it's because we're too big. Yes, we are a large county, but I've talked to the folks in the Supreme Court and they can handle our volume. The other thing too that I want to change is currently the Republican-run Clerk of the Court's office forces you to have to take time out of your job, time out of your life, time away from your family every time you need to get a copy of a public record. They make you go in person to get this. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for a lot of the people I've been meeting all over the county, specifically in South County, in Reston, in Herndon, Centerville. They live nowhere near Fairfax City, and it's a huge inconvenience. It's also terrible for the environment to force people to have to go and drive to the court when you could use technology, when you could be requesting the records on your phone. So that's another one of the things we're running on. Yeah, my big ask tonight is if you're available to host a house party, we are doing those. So anywhere in Fairfax County or City of Fairfax would love to come talk to your neighbors, would also need your contributions. Right now I'm running against a well-known Republican who's also out there knocking doors. I know Albert's been running into her out and about, and so have I in the community. And this is the last Republican-controlled seat in Fairfax County. It is the last countywide held office. So if I win this, they are out of the game. So I ask for your support tonight, humbly. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and reach out to me. I'll put my contact information in the chat. So very happy to see you guys again. Thank you.
Chris, I would make one suggestion. Of course, I'm not a seasoned politician. It sounds like you made that speech once or twice, but when you win, it will be a complete turnaround for the county, right?
Win. Thank you, Gil. The operative word. Thank
Next,
you.
we're gonna call on Harold Sims. If you'll unmute yourself and introduce yourself and go ahead and tell us about your campaign and what we can do to help.
Thank you so much, Gil, for this opportunity to share again. Again, my name is Harold Sims, and I'm running to be the next representative on the Fairfax County School Board, representing the Mount Vernon District. I think it's vital that on this school board that we have someone who represents the diversity in a community that is a majority minority community. The minority in the Mount Vernon district is the majority of the district. And we need a diverse candidate that represents the views of all of the people in the community, no matter where you live, no matter what your zip code is, no matter how much money you make, everybody deserves to have a voice. And so I am a father of
Harold, you hit a dead zone. Can you hear us? Back up about 1 minute. We lost
5 children. 2 of them are in elementary school. Laurel Hill. Can you hear me okay now? I apologize.
No, we hear you fine right now. We just had about a 30-second dead zone.
Okay, I'm sorry. I am a proud member of FCDC, serving as a member of the Black Caucus. I am also a officer on the Mount Vernon District Committee, where I serve as the co-chair for community outreach, and I also serve as a member of the Social Justice Committee. I think it's very important that the diversity that I bring to the district of being a man of color, being a pastor, and also being in law enforcement for now going on some 23 years, I think that we need a candidate who understands the experiences of the people in the district. Listen, the best experience is a lived experience. And it's one thing to go in the community and talk to people about what's going on with them, and we need to do that. It's another thing to read it in a book to try to understand, and that's nice too. But when you're someone who has lived the experiences of the people, being raised by a single mother, being the product of public school education, being in schools where teachers had to focus more on disciplinary problems and could not really focus on learning, I have experienced all of those things. I have experienced being someone who was homeless at one time. I've experienced being a single dad who, for a period of time, had to work his way through school because I wasn't offered opportunities, wasn't aware of the opportunities that they were, because people just presumed because of my color that college wasn't an option for me. And so I went to school at night while working, went to community college, and then went on to a 4-year university, then went to graduate school and was able to earn a master's degree. I think all of that is something that many of the people in the district can relate to. When I think about why I decided, Gil, to run, I think about the fact of my grandmother who I say all the time, I am her dream, literally her dream, a woman who lived to be 97 years young. And in those 97 years, a woman who is a descendant of enslaved people right here on a plantation here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, she taught me what resiliency was really all about. She was a woman who took in laundry on the side and baked cakes and supported the civil rights movement through the Black church. She walked with Dr. Martin Luther King on Washington. She fought for basic human rights to be recognized as a human being, to also be able to have public education, which she did not have the opportunity to enjoy. But me, her grandsons, many years later, would now be a candidate for public office in a place that did not welcome her and did not acknowledge her diversity. I think that's something that's needed in this district now more than ever. The most important asset that anyone can have is its people. It's not a policy. It's not a regulation. It's the people to whom we have the honor and privilege to serve. And so my platform for school board will ensure that we have equity and inclusion in everything, every policy and regulation that we have. It's not just a catchphrase that you use when you want to be elected, but it's something that you have to truly mean, and you truly must have a heart for the people. Number two, I will be committed to serving teachers. I will be committed to serving, number three, students and their families. And finally, I will make sure that I will do everything within my power to ensure that all our schools are safe for students, safe for teachers and staff. And so I'm running to protect public education. And Sims is a name you can depend on, and Sims is a name certainly that you can trust. Thank you so much. What I would like to do is have everyone's assistance. As you know, for school board in particular, we have a caucus that's coming up. If you're a member of FCDC, you're automatically registered. For those who are not, you have to register for the caucus, and that's open through May 5th. The caucus voting opens up on May 13th, and I would love to earn your support and the vote of everyone in the Latino caucus and within the community. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share.
Well, Harold, that was terrific. I'm going to give you another hallelujah, okay? Just like I did it the first time I ever heard you speak. So the next person up is Makia Little from a new district, the 19th. So Makia, if you'll unmute yourself and give us your stump speech and tell us how you're doing on your campaign and how we can help.
Absolutely, thank you. Wrapping up a night of knocking doors and driving, so please bear with me. But I want to tell a story tonight about the power of community. And for the 19th House District, we're the second most diverse district in the Commonwealth, majority Hispanic. And unfortunately, those whom our society and our system deem at a disadvantage, unfortunately, don't have the support they need to thrive in our communities. Around Christmas time, a young man in the new 19th went missing, and his family suspected foul play, but not only was English their second language, it was Christmas time. And so the police department was not as responsive as they should have been. And this family set out to search for their son on their own. And one of the community members had contacted me after meeting me recently. And so they were putting out their own visual flyers and search parties. And I shared that on social media. And I was so proud that as I shared that information, other Democrats began joining the vigils. And Democrats that are already in elected positions started making inquiries to the police department and expanding the search, expanding the resources put toward finding this young man. Well, his body was eventually found in Prince George's County, Maryland. And the family, in their grief, also needed support for burying him and his young daughter that he left behind. And I was really, really proud of the Prince William County Dems for contributing to that. And one of the laws that we discovered in the process of the prosecution of the killers was that there's a law on the books that says that if you didn't necessarily do the killing, but you just helped a family member get rid of the body, that you cannot be prosecuted. And when I made that discovery and spoke with the Commonwealth's attorney for Prince William County, she sent me the regulation. And I said, this is why we need community, and not just community within our districts, but community up and down the ballot. Because her role is to enforce the law. But our role at the state level is to make sure that the laws make sense and protect the community. And so I'm running to help be a bridge and to help unify our community so that we can solve problems that impact our shared prosperity together. And I also would like to share that the Guerrero family, Jose Guerrero is his name, They're having a fundraiser to pay for his headstone on Sunday, May 21st. It's going to be a soccer tournament, and they're asking teams to enter $250 to enter in support of Jose, they call him Chepe, and his daughter. So I'll make sure I share that information on social media, but I want to thank the Latino Caucus for your partnership. And I look forward to serving as the next delegate for the newly drawn 19th House District.
Makia, that was terrific. Thanks for bringing us up to date on that important information. Also, Natalie, could you unmute and give us an update on where you stand in your stump speech?
Yes, hello, good evening, everybody. Natalie Shorter again, and just to update everyone about my campaign, that Natalie for Virginia is a people-centered, people-powered campaign that's dedicated to the pragmatic and equitable solutions that move Virginia and its people forward. And I am running to represent the newly drawn 19th district, which runs in Prince William County. It's all east of 95, from Lee Sylvania State Park up through Fairfax County. And the district covers Lorton, Fort Belvoir, some of Woodlawn, and Mount Vernon. And I'm running to stand up to these far-right extremists, i.e. Governor Youngkin and his minions, and to no longer accept the things that I cannot change, but to be the change that I want to see, and to change the things that I can no longer accept. My district is a minority majority district, and it's one of the most diverse districts in the state. And these unprecedented times require a leader with a steady hand, as well as the tools and resources, as well as the network in place from day one for the heavy lift that is winning back the Virginia House of Delegates, and to build on the progress that we made as Democrats when we had the majority. I grew up in a political family, and Senator Louise Lucas is my grandmother. She asked me to run for this seat. And so it is quite literally in my veins to serve and to do what's right. We are a family of service, and my father and brother both were in the United States Army, and both served as sheriff deputies here in the Commonwealth. Although my background is in sales and finance management, there was no shortage of involvement in advocacy work, volunteerism, statewide on my part. I currently serve on the Prince William County Board of Trustees and Library Board, Library Board of Trustees. And although I'm a 38-year-old mother and wife to a proud Navy veteran, I've been knocking doors for a very long time, since the 90s, protesting, advocating for legislation in the background with my grandmother, or the Senate Majority Leader Dick Saslaw, delegates, just really getting in there as long as I can remember. And this sets me apart from the other candidates in my race to be able to get the job done. And there are unfortunate events in my life that led me to and shaped me for who I am. And this is why I'm such a staunch advocate for reproductive rights and freedoms, as well as gun violence prevention, and ensuring our teachers, public safety workers, care workers are adequately compensated, and ensuring we have fully funded public school educational system. My entire family were products of the public school system, and a great many other experiences, which makes me such a multifaceted candidate. I had to quit my job, and because that company did not support my run for a state level office, and I could either work at that Fortune 500 company and support those 5 executives that were more than well off on their own, or I could take my time, talents, resources, and network and help over 80,000 plus people in my district. So when I looked at it that way, it was very hard for me to not pursue running for House of Delegates, District 19. I also have 2 teenage girls in Prince William County Public Schools who often express their views and concerns surrounding hate, divisiveness, and all kinds of other things that have no room in the state that we love. And as a lifelong Virginian, I promise to be that representative that you can be proud to have, to protect and build on the progress we made, and help hold that majority in the House of Delegates, to be that guardian to those gates and a knight for the people, and reach across the aisle to get things done. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to representing you. I'm taking your voices with me to Richmond come 2024. Thank you so much.
Yes, terrific. Thanks for joining us and sharing all of your thoughts. Lawrence, before I ask you to unmute, would you actually unmute anytime? Somebody is on an iPhone. Could you unmute and identify yourself so we know who you are? Okay. Lawrence Webb, would you go ahead and unmute yourself and give us your stump speech and share with us how we can help you out?
Sure. Again, good evening, everyone. Latino Caucus, Gil, thank you very much. Again, my name is Lawrence Webb. I'm candidate for an at-large seat on the Fairfax County School Board. I'm coming into this race with experience, ready to hit the ground on day one, having been in public office for 12 years, 4 on the City Council in Falls Church, and 8 years, and 2 of those 8 years I was chair of the school board in the City of Falls Church. I've been here in Fairfax County for just about 3 years now, but have been an advocate working in education for over 20. I'm a college admissions officer working at 3 different universities, currently across the river working at Bowie State University. And that leads into one of the big things that I want to accomplish if elected to the board. That is getting our students ready for the next phase of their lives. And when I say that, that's both college, if that's what they want to do, but also career readiness. We have great academies here in the county. However, we need to make sure those are more accessible to our students in marginalized communities. It is challenging for some of those students to get to some of those locations. And I want to make sure that every student who wants an opportunity to learn a trade while they're getting their high school diploma, I want them to be able to do that. I'm looking with support, working with trade unions and other organizations to give hands-on experience to those students who are looking to do that. Because again, everyone is not going to go to college, but everyone has to take care of themselves when they walk across that stage. And what I'd like to do is have students walk across the stage, one hand with their diploma and a college admissions letter, and in the other, or diploma in one hand with a certificate or certification in the other hand, walking into the workforce to earn a living, to take care of themselves and future families. I also want to be an advocate for those students and staff of color. I want to make sure they have a voice, because in some of our marginalized communities in the Mount Vernon, Mason District areas, and some areas over in the Drainsville and Hunter Mill districts, those students feel and parents feel that they don't have a voice when it comes to advocating on behalf of their students. I want to make sure I am a voice for them. And they feel that way because in many cases, English is not their first language, or they feel educational barriers because they may not have college degrees or high school diplomas in some cases. But I want to make sure that those students have an advocate for them on the board who's going to work with the superintendent to make sure that we are taking the show on the road into communities where those people can come to those community locations to talk about issues that they may be having with services for their children in the schools. I want to make sure every student, regardless of where they are in the county, have opportunities to be successful, and we provide those opportunities to them. Also, again, with our LGBTQ community, I want to make sure that those students have those services and protections as well, because as you've heard tonight, what's going on in Florida is trying to make its way up I-95 with Governor Youngkin to take away a lot of our freedoms. take away rights that have recently been given to groups. Want to take away books because they don't believe in what certain books are saying. They want to whitewash our history and take away and make it as if those things did not happen because someone may not feel it may make them feel bad. All those things are things that I am ready to, on day one, to hit the ground running, to work with my colleagues on the school board to make sure that we are taking care of our students and staff. They should be focused on educating our students, and students should be focused on getting their education, not having to worry about being attacked by folks coming to them because they don't believe in the same things that the other side does. How you can help, of course, always contributions to my campaign, volunteering, door knocking, phone banking are all things that I would love to have from folks within the caucus. But first and foremost, with the endorsement caucus coming up soon, if you have not registered, you have until next Friday to do so. I encourage you to do so. You can go to my website, schoolboard.com, and there's a link to register for the endorsement. If folks who are not FCDC members who are already registered, please do that. But also, just if you have questions or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I've put my website as well as my email address in the chat, so please reach out. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I look forward to working with you all in the future.
Terrific. Thanks so much for sharing all of that with us. Jennifer Carroll Foy has joined us. I'm going to ask her to unmute and share her information about her campaign. But Jennifer, before you start, a little earlier, you heard that we were creating a basket for the FCDC Blue Gala. It is a Latina Cantina basket, and it contains all kinds of libations, snacks, all from countries throughout Latin America. So again, go back to your last bulletin and you'll see a button in there to go ahead and donate for that basket, and I encourage you to do that. Jennifer Carroll Foy, are you on, and can you unmute and share your campaign information with us?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I am here. I am Jennifer Carroll Foy, and I'm running for State Senate for the newly drawn 33rd District for Fairfax and Prince William counties. I am running because we have some unfinished business. While I was proud to stand in the General Assembly and fight to get great initiatives passed that will and have improved the lives of so many Virginians, such as helping undocumented immigrants get driving privileges here in Virginia, to help Dreamers get in-state tuition. I am looking forward to doing even more, such as making sure that those folks' information is always protected from the federal government and ICE. Worked with our county board of supervisors here in Prince William County to get 287G removed, which was one of the top initiatives of that board, and one of the top things I heard in the community as a delegate representing men and women on the Route 1 corridor. So I can tell you that now is the time. Now is the time to have more principled, passionate public servants leading Virginia forward. Take an initiative on the conversation, understanding what's important to everyday working families. And I know because I live it. I sit in traffic with you for 2 hours going 20 miles. I shop at the same grocery stores. I hear the same complaints. And as a public defender in Prince William County, I can tell you that we still have so far to go to addressing mental illness and substance abuse and ensuring that our criminal justice system is fair and equitable, and that we are not targeting brown and Black people and stopping them and asking for identification and immigration status. And I can tell you that's a reality for so many people in Fairfax and in Prince William. So I stand with you, and I stand with you unwavering and unequivocal to ensure that we move our communities forward. That is exactly why CASA in Action has endorsed my race for State Senate, because they know that I am a true ally and partner, that I have stood with you no matter what, including putting in the bills to remove the 40-quarter rule, which in Virginia required people to work pretty much 10 years and show documented proof of working before you can get health insurance in Virginia. And when COVID came, I made sure that was one of the top priorities of one of the things that we got rid of. And I can tell you, we did it. So that's what we need. People who understand the challenges, who are willing to put forth the solutions to make our lives better. Real problem solvers. So I am here to ask for you to go to jennifercarrollfoy.com to learn more about me, my initiatives, sign up to volunteer and donate. And of course, I ask for your vote for State Senate for the newly drawn 33rd District, representing Fairfax and Prince William counties. Thank you.
Jennifer, thanks so much for joining the meeting and sharing all that with us. Next up is our host for the night, Albert Vega, who's running for supervisor in Springfield. Albert, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I know unmuting is really easy when I'm in person. So anyways, my name is Albert Vega, and again, I'm running for Springfield District Supervisor, and I'm a problem solver. And the reason why I'm running is because our current supervisor is not problem solving at all. Because of that, Springfield is dead last in affordable housing. Because of that, people of color, immigrants, and our LGBTQ community do not have a voice. Because of that, Springfield does not have a voice representing common sense gun laws. And because of that, Springfield is not behind saving our environment. So I want to problem solve. I want to bring big changes and bring voice to people in Springfield. So come problem solve with me. Go to albertvega.com to learn more about me. If you can donate, that'd be fantastic. And there will be a canvas launch this weekend on Saturday. I will put that in the chat once I get back to my mobile phone. Again, Albert Vega for Springfield Supervisor. Have a great night.
Albert, thank you for sharing that with us. The last, certainly not least, is my better half, Maritza Cermeño, who's running for supervisor of the Mount Vernon District.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming to the Latino Caucus today. My name is Maritza Cermeño, and I'm running for the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors in Mount Vernon District. Two reasons that I'm running. One is because a promise that was broken, and that promise was to build that new Kennedy shelter. And it was promise made 2 years ago. And up to today, we still not have a shelter. There's the old Kennedy shelter that is, it was built like 100 years ago. And there's no way for us to give any upgrade. And people that have to spend the night there, they have to really go through a lot, just trying to not put attention on the smell where they put their head to sleep. The next promise that it was broken, it was that 2 years ago, a promise was made for the 100 families that live in a mobile home on Route 1. We were going to take care of them to make sure that they will not lose their investments in their property. But as October, they need to vacate the place because a developer bought the land and is thinking about building 2 big buildings right in Route 1. So let me tell you something about Fairfax County. In 1960, Fairfax County concentrate low-income houses in Route 1, but he didn't develop a workforce where people were able to get a good job or a good income job. So now we face that all these families have to get transportation to go to other places to get the job that is not going to be enough to survive with their families. So one thing I want to do is I want to make the Route 1 corridor wider from Woodland to Habla Valley, because we already widened it from the 95 to Woodland. And passing for Bedford now is the place that hire more workers than the Pentagon. And Pentagon has its own metro. So we need to have transportation that is liable for all the people that work on Corridor 1 so we can make progress. We are so behind in Mount Vernon. We haven't bring any new businesses. I see other districts with new roads, with new infrastructure, and we are planning. Mount Vernon needs to move ahead and needs to lead the county. So that's the reason I'm running. And the first thing that I will do is make sure that we build another wish center for Mount Vernon. So our kids that cannot go to college, they have an opportunity to learn trades that they can lift up their families from poverty. Again, this is Maritza Cermeño. If you cannot be part of my campaign, I really encourage you to donate so I can keep doing the good work. Thank you so much, and I talk to you soon.
And that finishes all of our candidates for tonight. We appreciate every single one of you coming and sharing your thoughts and views with us. It was a little different situation with tonight. Again, our new chair, Jairo Castro, was called to another meeting. There's a group within his insurance company that works with high-end government agencies. And literally, he's the only one that didn't come down with COVID. So he was unfortunately called away, and COVID still raises its ugly head even now. Let's not forget about that. But again, if you pull out the old bulletin that we sent about a week ago, push that button that says donate and go ahead and, give us some, 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks towards that basket would really, really help. And I guess are there any questions from the Zoom area? Okay. No, okay. Next meeting is most likely going to be by Zoom as we get closer to the election. Needless to say, you saw tonight, most of the candidates were in their cars going from one event or out canvassing. Both of our candidates here in the room just got off of door knocking to get to here. So we'll probably do the next one just by Zoom. If there are no questions and if there are no other candidates, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting adjourned. I really appreciate everybody taking time to come, and we'll look forward to seeing you the next. Oh, Jesper's got his hand raised.
Hi, sorry, Gil. So I'm here representing Dave's campaign, Dave Marsden, and I just really quick wanted to get in the opportunity that we're actually hiring field organizers. So we don't just have the opportunity for high-level candidates to get involved, but also for, if you've got a local high schooler or if you know somebody who's looking to make a couple extra dollars, we're hiring full-time staff. And we'd love to get them involved. So that not a candidate, not talking about Dave's experience, but just wanted to make sure that folks knew that if they know somebody that's looking for a little extra income, Dave Marsden is looking for staffers. Thanks so much, Gil. Appreciate it.
Jesper, a little background. Jesper floats among campaigns. Last time we saw him was on the street collecting signatures in Washington, D.C. and had kind of a fun time doing that. So anyway, I'm going to call.
You recommended me for my first job, Gil. You're being modest. He was a rock star. Him and Maritza helped guide me through this field experience. So thanks so much for letting me speak tonight too as well. Sorry about that, folks.
Oh, that's right. You were also in Don Byers' campaign. Yep. We keep running into each other. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call as a temporary chair. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting adjourned. Thank you again for everybody taking time to come. And we'll see you at the next meeting. Watch for our bulletins and the alerts. Was it?
Hopefully I wasn't stepping on anyone's toes there, Gil. I didn't know when to throw that out there.
Was 4. We can't keep